amigos. I miss you guys. Buenos dias, amigos. Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So this is my final circle time for our school year, you guys. I got my friend Pigeon here and the book, The Pigeon Finds a Hot Dog. And I have so many things that I want to talk about today and do, so this video might be just a little bit longer than usual. So let's start our day by praying. I'm going to do prayer hands like this. I'm going to steeple my hands. God, thank you for this school year. It has been an amazing, magical, and wonderful school year. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching over us. I just pray that this summer will be a great, warm summer where we can go to the beach and the pool and see each other again, God. I pray for next year to be a wonderful year. Amen. I know you guys, I miss you so much. I want to give you all a hug goodbye. Miss Betsy and I were finishing up their portfolios this week. They're ready for you, and they're really cool, and we're so proud of them, and we're so proud of all the work that you've done. And I know Miss Rachel and Miss Jane are so proud of all the work that you guys have done. We cannot wait to see you at VPK graduation parade. I think it's the coolest. Maybe we'll do it every year. We'll have a parade. I don't know. I'm not in charge of that, but maybe we will. So I got my cute earrings on today. This is Duckling. If you don't know Duckling, he is in this book. And then of course I have Pigeon. And later on, I'm going to teach you guys how to draw Pigeon and how to draw Duckling, just in case you didn't know. All right, let's get started. All right, I want to show you guys a lot of things that we've gone through this year. So the first thing I want to show you is this CD. Now, when Miss Betsy and I came into our classroom 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, we found this CD. We just found it sitting there, and it's called Gather Round. And I don't know if you guys know, but we listen to this every single morning as you guys are coming in, and we greet you, and all kinds of great music is in it. And it's just look at the art on it. We just love it so much. And we've used it every year. And the first song is the Rainbow Connection. And Miss Betsy and I, that's our song. That's our song that we love. And we love Kermit. And we don't talk about Kermit as much as we would like to. I don't know why. We need to talk more about Kermit for sure. But the Rainbow Connection is our special song, and it comes on every single day in our class. And also, there's so many. Love Train, the Banana Boat song, and Chicken Soup with Rice, and of course, Puff the Magic Dragon. Oh, I love Puff the Magic Dragon. Might be my second favorite song on this CD. So if you ever get the chance to get this CD, it's called Gather Round, and it's such a wonderful, wonderful collection of music by all kinds of people. Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, Sarah McLachlan, Jerry Garcia, tons. And one of my very favorite ever, what is his name? Dan Zanes. I love Dan Zanes. And sometimes Dan Zanes shows up on Sesame Street. So this summer, I hope you guys watch Sesame Street. I hope you watch Kermit the Frog. I hope you listen to Puff the Magic Dragon. I hope you listen to Rainbow Connection. I hope you enjoy your summer. I hope you make lots of art and do really cool science experiments. I hope you get to go to the beach and look for amazing shells with spirals and maybe see crabs or all kinds of cool things that you might find in the ocean. We are actually talking about the ocean this week. That's our theme, is the ocean, and there are so many magical things that live in the ocean, and the ocean itself is this magical place that we get to live really close to. I know my family and I, we didn't always live near the ocean, and we chose to move here. We wanted to move here because this place is really cool. And there's a fancy word called biodiverse, and the area where we live is very biodiverse. We see crabs, and we see dolphins, and we have marshes, and we have really cool trees around us and all kinds of cool stuff. And even our snails, or our gastropods that we find at our school, those kinds of animals live near the ocean. And I'm gonna show you two pieces of art. This one is probably the most famous ocean type art there is, and it's called the Great Wave. It's called the Great Wave, and I hope you can see it, and I'm gonna read about it, okay? The artist who painted it is Katsushika Hakusai, and it was made in 1829 or 1829 to 1833. We're not exactly 100% sure, in a place called Japan. And it's actually a print, and it's made of ink and color on paper. And you can see it in lots of places. You can see it, one of the places is in the British Museum in London. I've had the great fortune of being able to go to the British Museum, and it's a really neat place. It's so cool, and it's really, really big, and it takes a really long time to go through. This scene shows a huge wave about to crash down over 3 tiny boats. It was made by carving wooden blocks and then coating them with ink and pressing them onto paper. If you look, you can see the peak of Japan's Mount Fuji in the background. Do you see Mount Fuji? It's right there, right in the middle. But you almost wouldn't see it if you weren't looking for it, because you're actually seeing this amazing wave. And it's a print. And he carved it out. Isn't that the coolest? So cool. All right, and I have another one to show you about the ocean. And it's called the Fighting Temeraire. The Fighting Temeraire. And the painter of this is named Joseph Millord William Turner, and it was made in 1839. So, you know, not too long after the Great Wave was made. And it was made in London, and you can also see this in London, and it's an oil paint on canvas. We do not use oil paints in our class very much because oil paint stains. I don't even use it in my house that much. I have used it before and gotten it all over me, and you have to have special stuff to get it off your hands. And it's really cool and beautiful, but I don't use it myself even. The Temeraire was an old warship, and this painting shows it on its final voyage, on its way to be broken up for scrap. Turner was on the scene sketching as the Temeraire was towed away. And if you can look and you see the contrast between the ugly old tugboat and the gorgeous Temeraire. Turner became famous for painting the sea in all weathers. And it's said that once he had himself tied to the ship's mast so he could sketch the storm. And a mast, here's a little picture too, and a mast is this long pole thing that a sail would be attached to. When I was a little girl, I had an uncle who had a sailboat, and I got to go sailing, and it was one of the most special things I have ever done in my entire life. I'm not very good at it. It takes a lot of skill, but the people who were sailing the Temeraire probably were really good at it. So those are two pieces of art about the ocean. I love to draw waves. We are the Waypoint Wave Riders, and we draw waves all the time. Miss Betsy and I painted that huge surfboard outside with some of our friends last year, and we got to paint the waves, and it was really fun, and I enjoyed making that so much. Okay, let's do a Spanish book, okay? Let's do a Spanish book. I didn't pull out the other book today. I got this other one called How Do You Say? ¿Cómo se dice? So, ¿cómo se dice is how do you say in Spanish. And I just thought the illustrations were so good. These are girafas, or giraffes. And it's by Angela Dominguez. Angela Dominguez. ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say? Guys, look at this pattern page of the giraffes. Isn't that amazing? I love it. I just love it. Oh. Ah. Girafa. Food. Comida. Delicious. Sabrosa. Do you guys think the leaves are delicious? I don't know that we would think that these particular leaves are delicious. I like salad though. Salad's yummy to me. Hello. Hola. Good day. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. You guys know that. Water. Agua. Water. Agua. happy. Feliz. Friends. Amigos. Amigos, friends. Okay. Party. Fiesta. Nap. Siesta. Onomatopoeia. See all those Z's? We talk about that this year where something has Z's. That means that they're sleeping. You're catching your Z's. And then there's this amazing pattern page again. ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say? The end. Let's sing Una Sardina one more time. You guys ready? Una sardina, nadando en el agua. Una sardina, gloop, gloop, gloop. Oh no, fue comido por un pulpito, nadando en el agua. Un pulpito, gloop, gloop, gloop. Oh no, fue comido por un atún, nadando en el agua. Un atún, gloop, gloop, gloop. Oh no, fue comido por un tiburón, nadando en el agua. Tiburón, gloop, gloop, gloop. Oh no, fue comido por una ballena, nadando en el agua. Una ballena, gloop, gloop, gloop. Perdóname. The ocean, yay! Okay, I'm going to introduce to you guys a new author. I'm going to show you an author from last week that we read a book. And then I'm going to show you the author of this month, okay? So Maurice Sendak, remember I talked about him last week and I read Where the Wild Things Are and I said I would find his pattern page. I found it because it just moved and I organized all of my files. So this is Maurice Sendak and I love that picture of him. And he is famous for Where the Wild Things Are. He is super famous for that book. And I'm going to introduce you to another author and his name is Ezra Jack Keats. And I feel like if I ever had something else to name, I would name it Ezra Jack. I just love that name. And there he is. And he is very famous for the book, The Snowy Day. And I'm going to read that one to you. The Snowy Day. He actually wrote a lot of books. He wrote a lot. He grew up in the city, so all of his books, or most of his books, are set in places like in the city. So when you look at them, you might not super recognize them because we don't live in a city. We live in the suburbs, so we don't have the same experiences they did in the story, but he grew up in the city, so most of his books are about that. All right, so let's read The Snowy Day. So The Snowy Day has this golden medal on it called the Caldecott Medal, and it is for the most wonderful children's picture book of that year before. I'm going to take off the dust jacket, but I'll put it on, just like I always. I'll put it back on to keep the book safe. Hardback books almost always have dust jackets to keep them safe, okay? And it's the same. It's the same. The way that he did this, and you'll see in the story, is a paint called gouache, and he also made cutouts. So he made cutouts of paper, and then he did this paint called gouache. And gouache is kind of like watercolors in that you can wet it and use it and make it kind of as thick or as thin, but the difference is that watercolors, you can always see through them to the paper, and gouache is what we call opaque, meaning you can't really see through it to the paper behind it. We've talked about opaque in science class this year. I know we have. Look at this pattern page. This snowy day. We are not having a snowy day right now. No, we are not. And let's see if the pattern page is the same in the back. So it looks like he painted a background with his gouache, and then he stamped snowflakes on there. He stamped snowflakes. Now, in our class, if we were in class, that's what we would do for our art project. We would paint a snowy scene in the background, and then we would take snowflake stamps and we would stamp it. And it's a really fun activity. And if you guys want to, you can totally do that at home. You can see all the different colors. There's blues and pinks and grays. And then you can even just draw little snowflakes or paint them or make a stamp. You could make a stamp, or if you have a stamp, you could use it. Ezra Jack Keats. A snowy day. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. I'm looking out my window and I just see sunshine and it's beautiful. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. I've only ever been in snow this deep one time. I went to New York to visit a friend, and we got to dig tunnels in the snow, and it was piled so high so you could walk. Crunch, crunch, crunch. His feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointed out like this. And he walked with his toes pointed in like that. So look, he walked with them out and he walked with them in. And then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks. Look, he dragged his feet. And he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. So there was 1, 2, and now there's 3. It was a stick. A stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop, on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. And there's their snowball fight, and you can see him right there. And this is such a pretty page. I'll hold it up for a minute so you can look at it. So he made a smiling snowman. And he made angels. Have you guys ever been able to make snow angels? They're very fun to make. He pretended he was a mountain climber. And he climbed up a great big tall heaping mountain of snow and slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and still another, and he packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. And then he went into his warm house. He told his mother all about his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And look, it looks like he cut out the dress for the mom out of gingham, yellow gingham. That's what this pattern is called. No, this could be houndstooth. No, I think it's gingham. And he thought, and he thought, and he thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked into his pocket. His pocket was empty, and the snowball wasn't there, and he was very sad. And why wasn't the snowball there? I bet you guys know. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone and the snow was everywhere. New snow was falling. After breakfast, he called to his friend from across the hall, because he probably lives in an apartment building, because he lives in the city. And they went out together in the deep, deep snow. The end. The Snowy Day by Ezra Jack Keats. The next thing I'm going to share with you is how to draw pigeon and duckling. And here is an example. Now, pigeon is a little bit bigger than duckling because duckling is younger. All right, and if you can see the differences, do you see them? I have a picture of the duckling that I drew and colored. The duckling has a big blue eye right there. And then, of course, we have pigeon. So here's pigeon and here's duckling. And we read this book recently, so you've seen them, where the pigeon wants to find a hot dog. So duckling is in there. Okay, so I have a whiteboard like this. You guys, we use these in school, and I'm gonna draw it on the whiteboard, and you guys can practice, okay? And you can pause me at any point that you want to stop, okay? So let's start by drawing pigeon. All right, I have this blue marker. I'm gonna open it up. You guys can have a piece of paper, okay? And it is a little bit harder for me to draw because I'm backwards and upside down and all kinds of which ways, so I'm gonna try really hard. I actually might go this direction, who knows? I think I might. Let's see if I can move you guys. Oh, be patient. Oh. Okay, at school, I would show you how to draw something, and then I would give you your guidelines with your finger. So if you need to use your finger to have your imaginary guidelines, please go ahead. All right, I'm gonna draw pigeon over here. You ready? Pigeon has his pigeon head. And I'm using this color blue because it's the only one I have. All my other markers are dried up. All right, and then you have another circle inside the circle. And that's his one pigeon eye. And then inside that circle is a third circle, which you will color in, just like that. And that's his pigeon head, okay? All right, and I'm gonna just make him face, let me see, which way do I want him to face? I think I'll make him like this, okay. So I'm gonna make his beak like this, like he's talking to the duckling. So it's really just a triangle. You can make a second little triangle if you want to, and that's his beak. So we have his whole head made, all right? Now let's make his neck, all right? And it's pretty easy. It's one line, two lines. Now he'll look different depending on how long those lines are. Now, another thing that Mo Willems put in his pigeon is two necklines like this. And they usually actually come out like that. You can make them, you can keep them like that if you want to, or you can make them go off the lines. It doesn't matter, okay? Now that part is easy. Here's the harder part, okay? I want you to start in the opposite side of where his beak is. So don't start here. Start here, okay? And I want you to draw a long line out, just like that. And that's the beginning of his body. That's easier, but now we're gonna use our imaginary line, and we're gonna make an imaginary line that's gonna be his body like this, okay? You can practice a few times before you actually do it, or you can draw 20,000 pigeons and you'll get better every time, I promise, okay? All right, you're gonna start here, and you're gonna come down, and you're gonna go up. Just like that, okay? Now his wing line is a straight line across, just like that, and a curved line down, and that's his wing line, okay? Now all he needs are his feet. So it's two lines down, just like when you do his neck, it's two lines down, and then you're gonna give little pigeon feet. And there you go, there's pigeon. Now let's do duckling. He's a little bit different, okay? Duckling is a little bit different. All right. Duckling also has a round head, and he's smaller, okay? So here's duckling. We're gonna make him a little bit shorter, all right? And we're gonna give him his round duckling head, just like that. And he also has a second circle inside the circle to make his one duckling eye. But here is a difference. He's gonna look up at Pigeon, just like that. So I'm gonna make an eye like that. Now in the story, that little part right there is colored pigeon blue. It's colored pigeon blue. I'll show you like this. Okay, like he's looking up at Pigeon and his eye is the color of Pigeon because he loves him and that's his eye. Okay, so he also has a beak. Now, here's an easy way to make the beak. Turn your page sideways, okay? And you're gonna make like a backwards C, just like that. If you're looking at it like this, it's like almost like a little half U, okay? And that's the start of his beak. And then another one coming like that. And that's the top of his beak. And then the bottom of his beak is like a little bitty oval shape, just like that, okay? And that's how his beak is different than Pigeon's beak. So far, the differences are their eyes and their beaks, okay? And he has a smaller neck, and it's still just 2 lines down, but his does not have the 2 lines across, okay? Okay, same thing, opposite side of the beak, just like that. You're gonna come over here, and you're gonna make a line, just like this. But there's a difference in his body. His body is a long line across, but then you have to come up. He almost has a little triangle tail. He has a little tail. Same thing, come here, and you can use your imaginary finger line like this, and you can come around and practice a couple times, just like that, so you can get see where you want it. And his body actually comes out a little bit more like this. And it comes up like that, because he has a little tail. And even see, I messed up a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Okay, his wing line is also different. Pigeon's is like that, and Ducky's is an upside down triangle, or a V, just like that. He has a V, okay? Now, I feel like I should have made his body a little bit smaller, but I'll keep practicing and I'll get even better at it too, just like you guys. All right, now he has 2 legs just like this, a line down and a line down, and then his feet look like this. So we have pigeon feet and duckling feet. Now it looks almost like duckling is a little bit forward now they're looking. So I probably should have made him a little shorter, and I'll try it again a little bit later. But I think he's so cute. So there's duckling looking at pigeon. Practice, you guys. You'll be so good at it if you practice. I promise. I know you will. All right. So there is that. And then I actually drew them earlier like this, where they're not facing. They're facing in the same direction. And there is duckling and pigeon for you guys. Well, I think that is all that I have for you all this week. And we'll look and say goodbye to Pigeon. Bye, Pigeon. Bye, Duckling. Bye, Miss Betsy. And hopefully we'll see you guys really soon. You guys stay awesome, and I miss you. Mwah. Besos, abrazos. Hasta luego.